It's over in this direction. Oh, leading to dormitories. I presume this is where I can rest. Oh, that's not it. Must obtain permission.
I'm gone.
I'm assuming you're the one who I can ask permission to rest, right? The attractive young woman smiles pleasantly. Greetings, sir. She closes her eye and flips through a large ledger, stopping at what seems to be a random page and opening her eye once more. Ah, here's your room key. She hands you a small key. The easternmost chamber has been waiting quite some time for your return. Would you like to rest now, sir? No, but what do you mean waiting for my return? The clerk gives you a strange look. My ledger indicates that this is your key, sir, and has been for a good long time. If that is not so, then perhaps I'm merely mistaken. Would you like to rest now, sir? Okay, so one of my previous incarnations was a sensei? Interesting. That is not what I expected to see. Well, now I know. I wonder if there's anything in here, around here. Wow, pretty... Wait, that's your name? The woman before you is incredibly attractive. There's some intangible aura around her that makes you want to speak to her. As you step up to her, she glances at you coyly, then she gives a knowing smile. Greetings. You want something, yes? She hisses the yes, drawing it out slowly, sensually from between her teeth. I can help. Name your desire and I shall provide it. I love the Festhall. The woman ignores Morty, her eyes locked with yours. She smiles, awaiting your response. I want my memories returned. All of them. She smiles. Much may be forgotten in a lifetime, and much more in several lifetimes. I can help you. She studies your face closely. Explain to me the ways in which you want these memories. Speak to me your cravings, and I shall speak to you of the price. As you speak, her smile fades, and she leans forward attentively, her eyes ravaging your features as you speak. Her presence compels you to speak more than you normally would, and after a few moments, her eyes flutter closed. Oh, as she gives a sharp intake of breath. Suddenly, the desire for your memories begins to wane. Your want slowly drains out of you, leaving only a sense of cold emptiness in its wake. She opens her eyes again as you speak. What is wrong, traveler? Do you no longer want your memories returned to you? No, I mean, yes. What have you done to me? She seems perplexed. Whatever do you mean? Despite her innocent demeanor, you're certain something unnatural has occurred. She has somehow siphoned off some part of your desire, stolen it away from some ghastly collection of wants, or perhaps to feed upon. Had you finished speaking of your desire, you're certain it would have been lost forever to you. Come now, is there something else you want then? Tell me more of it. I'd best not. I'm curious. Is that going to have a negative effect later? Is there an Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an autosave. Let's go to it. Yeah, good. Alright then, let me go through the motions real quick. And I'll be with you shortly. What do you have that I might want? All that you might want lies within my reach. What little I do not possess, I can obtain. Perhaps another time.
Alright. Alright.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to... I don't know. It's an RPG. I'm allowed to save scum, right? I'll do what I want, dang it. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, which room was it that the clerk said was mine? Easternmost chamber. I presume she means this one.
Done.
Not a bad arrangement.
Done.
Is there anything on here? Wow, variety of stuff. Bunch of different charms. Embalming fluid. Oh my, what? That's useful. It looks like whoever this was also a magic user. Hey, Anna. Let's see if you can get this open.
Got it.
Scroll of fire. A Dodecahedron? What's this doing here? This heavy dodecahedron, about the size of both your fists balled together, seems inexplicably familiar to you. Its texture is cold and smooth, but whether it's metal or stone, you cannot tell. A certain, almost intangible tension runs over the object, as if it were ready to spring into the air at any moment. So another item like the bronze sphere. Peculiar. Upon closer examination, you realize that each side of the dodecahedron is a plate that can be twisted clockwise or counterclockwise. It appears to be a puzzle box or combination lock. As each of the pentagonal plates has 5 possible positions, the dodecahedron has no less than 244,144,625 settings. It would take every second of the next 77 odd years to hit all the combinations. But then, you might just get lucky and stumble onto a solution within minutes. Real quick, let's try it. As you methodically twist the cold gray facets of the dodecahedron, a strange sensation forms at the base of your skull. Your hands seem to move of their own accord, turning the object and spinning its facets with mechanical precision. You've done this before. You knew that combination once, and you've also become aware that there's a certain danger within the object. Whether it's from simple traps or something less mundane, though, you cannot recall. In moments, you have what might be the first 4 sides locked into their proper place. As you begin to twist the 5th side of the dodecahedron, you recall a cunning blade trap that would snap out to lash at a meddler's hands, slashing their wrists and severing fingers. You avoid the trap with the proper number of rotations, certain that you've made progress in the unraveling of the object's secret. After avoiding the dodecahedron's springing blades, you slowly puzzle out the next series of facet positions. As you start to turn the 9th set of the dodecahedron, you suddenly remember a second trap. Jets of toxic gas that would form a billowing cloud of lethal corrosive vapor around a curious meddler. You circumvent the trap with the correct amount of twists, positive that you've nearly unlocked the dodecahedron. You circumvent the dodecahedron's poisonous gas trap, and begin your work on the final facet positions. Just as you're locking the 12th pentagon into place, sorcerous runes hidden within the dodecahedron unleashes a tiny storm of magical lightning. Arcs of crackling blue light run up your arms, leaving smoking trails of black ruined flesh in their wake. After allowing your muscles to cease their spasms and picking yourself back up, you recall how to avoid that trap. After making a final adjustment to the 12th facet, the dodecahedron clicks and begins to open in your hand. The dodecahedron splits once, twice, and eventually unfolds itself possibly into a perfect rectangular tablet the size of a large book. Etched into its surface are a series of bizarre symbols. It looks to be a code or language that you feel should be familiar to you, but it's not. Further examination of the tablet reveals that by twisting the pentagonal faces that are now upon the underside of the tablet, different pages may be displayed across the tablet's face. You finally realize that the dodecahedron is a tome or journal of some sort.
Updated my journal.
Where did it... Okay, so... I wonder if I can have anyone translate it. A scholar or linguist in the Festhall. I could just talk to Decon and maybe ask.
What is your will?
I wanted to ask you about our travels. You said that I once traveled with 4 others. Who were these others? The tattoo speaks of 4 minds. One was a woman who loved a man who knew her and knew not love. The other was a blind man who saw things no mortal eye could see. Another was a familiar, a mage's pet bought and bound, and the last was a slave. What can you tell me of the 4? The woman was young. She worshipped time, for in her blood she knew of things to come. The archer was a blind man, and he could see things that no other could see. The path of his arrows always led to the heart of an enemy. The familiar and the slave I know little of. See things to come? The woman's name was Dianara,
Updated
wasn't
my
it?
journal.
No, that Dianara was the name she carried. What do you know of the archer? I know little of him. I know he was a soldier. I know that alcohol had taken a portion of his life. In blindness he had come to know a different sight. In knowing this, he had become strong, yet he did not know his own strength. Do you know what his name was? Before Thorncomb could respond, you suddenly know the answer. There is a crawling sensation in the back of your skull, and you feel the name surfacing, as if from beneath a great muddy ocean. His name was Zachariah. He was blind, but in blindness he had gained a second sight that allowed him to see things hidden to others.
Updated my journal.
Know that Zachariah was the name he carried, and know that his name pierced the heart of many enemies. Do you know why we were traveling together? Know that the path was known only to you, and it was your will that we not know it, knowing that those that walked your path knew only the symbols that bound them. Alright, that's it. Okay, that tells me a little bit. Where have I seen that name before? Okay, I'm just ending up reading too much. I need to keep going. Encased patio. So it looks like this was originally my room. Back when I may have been a sensate at one point. So the question is, where do I need to go to find whatever her name was? Scholar or linguist? Okay, let's work out. Okay, so 2 goals right now. Figuring out, find a scholar or linguist that can read what is written here. Another, to find whatever mage
Alright.
I need to speak to.
Alright.
Actually, what's in here?
Alright.
Real quick, let's go find that out. Come on, Anna, don't be dumb.
I'm gone.
Okay, just a couple of sensates, and you don't look normal. This is a life-size granite statue of a gentleman standing with his arms at his side, eyes closed. It is of excellent craftsmanship, exquisitely detailed and incredibly lifelike. So much so, in fact, that you find yourself wondering if it's really a statue at all. Greetings? The statue makes no response. Chief? You've seen statues before, right? Not that they don't talk or anything. Consider this, Morty. You're a floating, talking skull who's denying the possibility of a living statue. Well, got me there, boss. That I do, Morty. Just touch him. You touch the statue and find that, while the clothes that adorn it are of gray color rather than the rock, the skin is as cool and hard as granite. Why would someone clothe a statue? Maybe it's a little too anatomically correct, Chief? It was a rhetorical question, Morty. Sure, boss. I knew that. As you make to strike the statue, its eyes flash open and it catches your fist in an iron-hard grip. Narrowing its cold gray eyes, it speaks with a voice like 2 boulders grinding together. Why would you strike Quisai? Forgive me, I only meant to see if you were truly a statue. He nods, slowly, frowning. You are forgiven. However, one feels you are lacking patience. Perhaps. I had some questions. Hello? How long is this gonna go? Oh dear. Okay, let's go through this whole motion. Hello, my questions? Still no response. Wait for it. There is still no response. You get the sense that Quisai might be testing your patience. A few minutes pass and Quisai still failed to respond. The statue's eyes open. He gazes at you with cold gray eyes. He speaks ponderously, with a voice like 2 boulders grinding together. Your patience is noted. Quisai would speak with you now. Morty rolls his eyes and makes a gagging noise. Powers, no, not another Burke that talks like this. I have questions about this place. This is the Civic Festhall. Need you know more? Find another to ask. What do you know of Ravel Puzzlewell? Nothing. I have questions about you. Ask. What is it that you were meditating upon when I first found you? Quisai meditates upon the Way of Stone. The Way of Stone? A philosophy. A method of combat. With it, Quisai seeks to achieve invulnerability. Invulnerability? you'd be unbeatable in combat. Yes. Now, the way is not yet perfect. Quisai will make it so one day. Quisai knows this. Can you tell me what you've discovered so far? Quisai nods. No one has asked Quisai to share his knowledge of the way. Quisai shall do this now. He begins to speak at length, slowly and carefully.
Updated my journal.
After hours of listening and many, many more questions, you come to understand what little of Quisai's way of stone can teach you. In combat, you will use it to resist and deflect your enemy's blows, improving your armor class. Who are you? What are you exactly? One is of the Earth race, called Stone Princes. Quisai is Genasi of Earth.
Updated my journal.
He nods proudly. Quisai's father, an elemental creature of Earth, a Tao. Quisai's mother, a human woman of noble heritage. Such is what it is to be Genasi of Earth. What do you do here? Quisai meditates. Quisai also trains others in the arts of combat. Alright. So I assume that's a special ability I have now? Where is that? Oh, it seems like my armor class is a bit low, better than it was. Nice. So, now, what was the name of that other person? Journal. Lady Thorncomb. There it is. Lady Thorncomb. Whatever her name is. That person. Let's see if she's in the public one, because I definitely didn't see her in the private one. This might take a bit of looking.
Alright.
There you are. Why is everybody here dressed like that? This comely, middle-aged woman is wandering about dreamily, absent-mindedly chewing on her thumbnail. Her eyes seem focused on nothing in particular. She is dressed in elegant yet disheveled finery, and her hair is slightly tousled. Greetings. She takes her thumb from her mouth, smoothing back a strand of hair that had fallen in front of her eyes. Are you by chance Lady Thorncomb? Her eyes widen momentarily. She looks away from you. No, I am not, sir. Who are you then, if I may ask? She smiles nervously. No one of consequence, I assure you. Might I have your name? Oh, I'm, Adana. Okay, is that just a comment? What, does everybody use the name Adon when they're trying to lie? You are actually Lady Thorncomb, Mage's tutor of the Civic Festhall, am I correct? Lady Thorncomb puts on a sudden look. And if I was this woman, what of it? I had hoped to receive training in the magical arts.
Updated my journal.
I shall dash your hopes to pieces then. I no longer wish to teach magic. Now go, leave me in peace. But why not? As if it were any of your concern. But it is. I seek to learn and you can teach. I would know what I might do to convince you to train me. She sighs loudly and resumes chewing on her thumbnail. I doubt there's little you can offer me which I cannot find on my own. The sensory stones provide me with all things that my considerable wealth cannot buy. The sensory stones? Yes. Each stone has recorded within it one experience or another. When I first came to these halls, I spent little time with them. Only now do I realize what I had been missing. What had you been missing?
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling. Her eyes take on a glassy sheen, and she holds herself tightly. One could spend lifetimes here among the stones, experience after wondrous experience. Mere words cannot express their magnificence. I can only suggest you see for yourself, sir. Oh dear, you're addicted to them. And yeah, that is the problem with seeking pleasure in everything. Pleasure does not equal happiness. Dear society, if I could just say one thing. Dear society, pleasure does not equal happiness. You need something need a fulfilling goal in your life. Speaking from personal experience, going for pleasure alone does nothing. You sound addicted. She snarls at you. Nonsense! I could stop any time I wished. Oh god! I merely choose to bask in their wonder. Why waste time teaching dawdling, ungrateful magelings when I could remain here among these precious stones, living 100 new lives each day? I don't think the stones are there for that. Shouldn't you seek sensations of your own to share? What you think matters little to me. Farewell.
Alright.
Actually, wait, who was that mage outside that was wanting to... ideas. As if she has no interest in it anymore. I have a feeling that that other guy certainly would be. Let's go talk to him real quick. Ah, Salabesh. Couldn't quite remember his name. Wait, do you know of a cursed man called Reek?
Updated my journal.
Reek? Salabesh's eyebrows suddenly dart up. Oh yes, Jumble Murdensense cursed that man, if I recall correctly. Why? Seeking to get his curse undone? Good luck. Only Jumble can do that, you know. Where would I find this Jumble Murdersense? Within the Civic Festhall, I suppose. A short, portly fellow with a leering smile. Never speaks, so you'll be hard-pressed to get anything out of him. Okay, blah blah blah, I've been through this. You could always bring up the fact that she's addicted to sensory stones. She doesn't seem to want to teach
my
anything.
Journal.
Salabesh's tight lips curl into a nasty smile. Is she now? And she no longer cares to teach? Excellent. He rubs his hand together like a cliché A villain with a dastardly plot. I request to be made the new mage's tutor shortly then. Have you put in your request to be made mage tutor of the Festhall yet? Salabesh's expression darkens. No, I recently upset the head of the Festhall's board of mages, and I feel it would be best to wait for a time before making my request. Besides, I am certain that Lady Thorncomb won't come skipping out of the sensorium anytime soon. I have a feeling I'm gonna regret telling him that. So, in the meantime, where exactly could I go to try and... Actually, any one of these places could probably suit whatever I need to do for that dumb mage. The Art and Curio Gallery probably won't be it. I don't know what they mean by the advocates. Intellectual lust is definitely not something that Quell seems to be interested. Apothecary, definitely not. So let's try the Curiosity Shop first. I doubt it would be the pawn shop over here. Wait, Linguist's how? Phenom the Linguist. Ooh. Okay, you know what? I'm checking that out first. Screw everything else. Screw the actual main plot. This is an RPG. Let's go do stuff. Let's go explore things. This short, scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings, I am Phenon. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited or otherwise, so unless you've business with me, I would ask you to leave. I did have some questions. I would have you know that I am a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language and the like, I can be of no help to you in other matters. Unfold the Dodecahedron to a page with writing on it and ask if you can translate it. He takes the unfolded Dodecahedron in his hands and examines it closely. This language is a long-dead one, known to virtually no one. I believe my father, a linguist like myself, knew this language, and may well have been the only man in Sigil at the time that could understand it. I recognize it from his notes, but I cannot translate it. Do you have those notes still? Phenom shakes his head. Don't be of no more use to you if you're looking to translate anything. And the few actual books he had pertaining to that language disappeared around the time of his murder, I believe. Your father was murdered? Phenom nods. Strangled he was. He had left to tutor someone. He taught various languages to supplement his research income, and was discovered dead in a side chamber of the Civic Festhall. The killer was never found. This was perhaps 50 years ago now. I was but a child. He knew the language, though, and could teach it? Surely he did, and could, were he alive today. My father was said to be a great teacher. I've his skill with language, but not his patience for others, sadly. Is he interred at the mortuary?
My journal.
Why, no. His ashes are kept here. He points to a bronze urn sitting atop a cabinet beside a bouquet of purple flowers. Why? A wry smile crosses Phenom's lips. A necroscope, are you? Speak with the dead? He suddenly frowns. I have no wish to speak of these things any longer. You'll have to excuse me, sir. Farewell. I wonder... Okay, that didn't work. There is an urn atop this small cabinet, full of ashes and charred bits of bone. Etched into the base of the urn are the words Finn Andlyle, beloved husband, father, and scholar of 100 languages. The ashes seem to stir faintly, as if moved by your breath. A faraway voice whispers up from within the urn. Why have I been summoned to these ashes, cold and grey as the heart of a hag? To answer some questions, spirit. Ask then, so that I might return to my most quiet thoughts. Yes, I know that tongue. I was a linguist and scholar, you see. I was murdered by a student of mine. Murdered so I could not teach another of the language that I taught him. The tongue of the Uyo it was, one of the rarest in the multiverse. I knew none who spoke it, save myself and that one damnable murderous student. So can you help me learn this dead language? I could teach you this language, yes. It would please me to do so, in fact, if only despite that bloody-handed student of long ago. First tell me what languages you do speak. As the spirit speaks to you of the lost language of the Uyo, there is a throbbing sensation in your temples as a memory begins to surface. Memories of this language. You recall letters, words, phrases, until, like a spire wind blowing away the blanket of poisonous smog over the great foundry, the language is once more revealed to you in its entirety.
Updated my journal.
There is another memory, though, bubbling to the surface. A darker one. Its presence troubles you somehow. Fills you with unease and unexplained pangs of guilt.
Updated my journal.
At last, you recall Finn Andile himself. You remember his gentle voice, his kind manner, his schooling you in the ancient language of the... Oh my gosh, is this where I think it's going? You also remember your scarred, gnarled hands wrapped around his frail throat, crushing his larynx and thus ensuring that the secret contents of your journal, hidden and thrice trapped in a dodecahedral puzzle box and penned in the obscure language of the Uyo, would be forever safe of the prying eyes. Finn, I must tell you, it was me who
Updated my
murdered you.
journal.
The spirit is silent for a time, the ashes rustling softly within their urn. When it speaks one more time, its voice is full of sorrow. But why? And why would you come to me once more? Did you forget what you had been taught? No, well, yes. It is difficult to explain, but it must have been a former self of mine that murdered you. Each time I die, I reawaken, as if from long sleep, but having forgotten everything, who I was or what I'd done. I think I understand. I sense your regrets and would forgive you. May peace be with you, pupil of old, and may you prove kinder in this life than the one which saw an end to mine. Okay. So, now I can read this, but... Unfortunately, you know what? I'm gonna leave that as a cliffhanger. Screw you guys. Because I've gotta run off and do something. I got interrupted somewhat in the middle of a spiel there, as you might have seen, depending on how good my editing skills were. So... or depending on the circumstances, hard to say. Either way, wow. Just when I think it can't get any better, it does. I kind of wish I could devote more time to this in a day, but at the same time, it's nice that I get to measure it out by just speaking it out. And I think there is some value in narrating this to myself, because it allows me to get emotional like that. But yeah, the last thing is that might end up getting posted to my Facebook wall. That was awesome. Alright then, so... in the meantime, I'm gonna go deal with other things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.